Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about MariaDB SkySQL, which is our cloud database service, what it does and how it works and all those things. So without further ado, within these 20 minutes, what am I going to talk about? Well, I'm going to start by explaining what MariaDB SkySQL is and why it's different from the competition and from other offerings in the market. Then I'm going to talk about something called MariaDB SkySQL Power Tier, which is the deluxe version of MariaDB SkySQL, if you wish. Then I'm going to say a few words about MariaDB SkyDBA, and then I'm going to get to some conclusions, and we're going to cram all this content into 20 minutes. Okay, so off we go. So what is MariaDB SkySQL? What are we trying to achieve with it? Where are we going with it? Okay. Let me try to answer that. So this is what we're looking for, the hope. What do we want with this thing, right? So we start off with something on-premise, MariaDB on-premise, in your own computers, in your own servers, in your own data center. Every deployment in these data centers is unique. I've seen numerous installations of MariaDB, MySQL, and other database systems over the year. I've been in the database business for around 40 years, and all of these installations are different, one way or the other, right? They're different hardware, different servers, and they're all unique. And the reason is because they're unique, or the reason they're unique is because they're like targeted to fulfill a specific need of the customer. Like you might have like a particular business reason to do what you're doing, or a technical reason to do what you're doing. You might be in a certain industry with certain regulations. You might have certain high availability requirements, or someone might have like a topology that fits your business really well, or the hardware and the processes that you work with it might be special, or, and this is not uncommon, there might be someone who's designing these things who has like a fling for certain technology. He really likes HP computers, so he buys HP boxes. And he thinks like anything should fit within 8 gigs of RAM. If it doesn't fit within 8 gigs, I don't want to deal with it, right? All sorts of requirements come in when you look at your in-premise installation, right? And what are you going to want to do with all your premise installations of databases and servers and what have you not? Well, you want to move to the cloud, right? The cloud it's cost efficient. It solves all your problems. It provides many more services that is happening in the cloud that you no longer have to deal with. You don't have to buy like hardware or install operating system or maintenance. Like you get like something that runs for you and someone else manages that. Right. So there's this lift and shift operation, which basically means that you should be able to continue to run your existing applications in the same way, but you're moving it to the cloud, one way or the other. You want to minimize downtime and migration, right? Downtime, when something goes down, someone fixes that, right? But it's in the middle of the night. If you're in your own data center, who fixes that? Well, you have to have someone employed 24/7 to fix those things, right? Whereas if you're in the cloud, someone else is doing that, right? You want the cloud really to behave like your on-premise solutions, right? You want it to be able to have like a level of configurability and all that, and that should work the same towards like the applications. But you want to combine that with a level of self-service and automation and all these nice things that just makes things tick, right? You no longer have to maintain all this hardware and stuff like that. Someone else is doing that for you, someone else who is in the cloud. And what do you get when you look at databases? Well, you can go to Amazon or Google or Azure, and what you get in terms of databases and the database services these guys provide, and it can be any database underlying this. It can be MariaDB or MySQL, or it can be Oracle or SQL Server and what have you not. And typically what you get an IP address and you get a port, and you kick your SQL queries there and you get your results back, right? We all know this, right? And behind that, what's happening? Well, someone working for Amazon has employed or installed MariaDB on a virtual machine, and You ask for this service, you buy this service, and they set this up for you. It's all automatic, all automated. Some script set up a new virtual machine, installs MariaDB on it, and off you go. Here's your IP address and your port. That's all you get. That's included with this thing. So how are we different? Doesn't we do this for you? Yes, we do this for you. When you buy into MariaDB SkySQL, you get an IP address and a port. Yeah, so why are we different? Well, we're different on what happens in the cloud. Behind all this stuff, there's stuff going on that makes your life so much easier and gives us the abilities to do things that no one else can do. So let me start off by looking at that. And let me start off with MariaDB MaxScale. Seb has already talked about MaxScale, as has Asim, right? So what is MariaDB MaxScale? MaxScale is our database proxy that provides you with scalability and availability, right? That's the primary purpose of MaxScale. MaxScale can do tons of more things, right? But the primary purpose that people typically install MariaDB MaxScale is to provide you scalability and availability. Is MaxScale available when you buy a service from Amazon or from Google? No. It's not. Is it available when you go with SkySQL? Yes. Do you get the level of transparent availability and scalability where you can scale to multiple servers and any of these other guys? No, to a large extent you don't. And if you do, you have to pay extra for it. And here's the kicker, right? We don't charge you extra for it. You buy a service from MariaDB SkySQL and you buy like a 2-server cluster, and you get MariaDB's MaxScale to do load balancing and read-write split and stuff like that for you, and availability. If one server goes down, it fails over to the other, included with SkySQL at no extra cost, right? That's the difference, right? But it doesn't end there, right? There's more to it. Of course there's more to it. We're MariaDB. We're the nice guys, right? We also give you Kubernetes, right? Everybody wants Kubernetes these days. It shouldn't be a surprise that we actually built our whole infrastructure that supports MariaDB SkySQL on Kubernetes, right? This is basically what we do. And Kubernetes provides us with self-healing and high availability, right? So if a server fails, Kubernetes makes sure that self-healing gets in and fixes that server. And whilst it's being fixed, MariaDB MaxScale makes sure that traffic is directed to the other server or service, right? Simple and effective, and it works really well, and it gives you high availability and scalability, right? At no extra cost. You just get 2 servers and you get high availability for free, included with that. And does it end there? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't, right? You also get access to something called MariaDB Column Store, which has been discussed before, but I'm going to mention a few words about it. So MariaDB Column Store is our analytics database offering. MariaDB Column Store gives you really high performance for analytics. The nice thing with Column Store is that not only is it analytics focused, but it has the same SQL interface and the same protocols as regular MySQL or MariaDB. Sorry, I shouldn't say that word. It's as regular MariaDB. So MariaDB Column Store gives you access to analytical performance without having to change any SQL or anything like that. All of this in one package. But as you see on this slide, the application actually has to know where Column Store is to connect to that. There are 2 connections going from that user application here. Like one of them goes to MaxScale, which distributes load in our cluster, and one goes to MariaDB Column Store. And I just said they have the same protocol, the same SQL syntax. Why can't these guys work together? Well, of course they can. Of course they can, right? That's what's included with MariaDB HTAP, right? This is included out of the box. You just pay for the service, and MaxScale will do this for you. And MaxScale will say, here's a query that looks like an analytics query. I'll send that to Column Store. Oh, this query looks like OLTP. I'll send it to the OLTP cluster. This is fully automated. It's transparent to the application, transparent to the user. You just kick off and run your queries. You don't have to remember which is analytical or which one is not. If you want to run an analytical query to assist you in performing your OLTP transactions, This is it. This is MariaDB HTAP. HTAP is a service that's included with MariaDB SkySQL. It consists of the classic MariaDB. It consists of MariaDB column store, and on top of that, we got MariaDB MaxScale. And it's all transparent, and it's included with MariaDB SkySQL. So does it end there? No, we got visions. So let's talk about one of the visions we have for MariaDB SkySQL, which is using MariaDB replication to replicate between clouds, right? And you might think that, hey, these clouds are different. They're different infrastructure. How can you really replicate because these things are different? No, they're not different because, remember, we're running everything on Kubernetes, right? We don't care. We don't care what the underlying cloud looks like, if it's Amazon or Azure or whatever. We don't care because we put Kubernetes on top of that, which provides us with something that looks exactly the same on all of these places. And Tony talked a bit like that. Everything is managed from a ServiceNow console, right? So we're not there yet, but we built the system to allow you to do these things. Cross-region, cross-cloud replication, transparently to the user, transparent to the application, built in. And not only that, there's one more thing, one more cool little thing that we're the only one in the industry that can provide you, which is the SkyDBA. MariaDB SkyDBA, those are your DBAs, 24/7. These guys work and does the DBA work on your servers, right? It ensures that the servers are up and running. It ensures that data is always available and that the servers work right. And they do that for you 24/7. Does your current DBA work 24/7? Probably not. Most people don't do that, but our guys actually do it. Well, it's a team doing it, but anyway, we are there 24/7. Your SkyDBA is DBAing your data. The SkyDBA is an extra service on top of MariaDB SkySQL, but it's there and it's available for you. It's a very appreciated service. Not only can we take the server maintenance for you and do that for you, not only can we run the databases for you, we can also do the DBA work for you, right? Very nice. So let's move into and have a quick look at what MariaDB SkySQL Power Tier is all about. Power Tier really is as sophisticated as you want it to be, right? So Power Tier is the deluxe version of MariaDB SkySQL. It's very configurable. Here, instead of using the cookie cutter fixed type of virtual machines or Kubernetes containers that run your databases, the fixed configurations and all that. Here we got SkySQL Power Tier ready to be configured to your specific requirements. It can be very specific, right? This is a database as a service that's customized to your specific needs. No one else can do this. One of the reasons we do this is that not everything within MariaDB SkySQL is actually automated. Some of these things are run by the Mariadb experts, and these experts help you, if you have a Power Tier, to build you exactly what you need to support your database environment, right? And we take advantage of the extensibility and the configurability of things like Kubernetes, ServiceNow, MariaDB MaxScale, and of course the MariaDB server, right? And we can configure all these things to your specific needs. If we compare MariaDB SkySQL Foundation, which is the basic layer, and Power Tier, you can see that, for example, with MariaDB SkySQL in the foundation layer at the core level, you're limited to a number of basic topologies. In this case, like let's say replicated or you got Galera. With Power Tier, you can have a topology which consists of like a cluster that is replicated or has a Galera cluster with read replicas or what have you not. There are all sorts of things we can do with that, right? High availability and disaster recovery is also very specialized. This is not like in the power tier. This is not built to support a specific requirement that we have determined. No, here we have a disaster recovery feature and high availability that's built to support your specific needs, right? So we'll look at what do you need? What are your requirements? And then we build together with you something that fits your needs, right? And that's specific for your requirements. Workload analysis is more advanced. The instance types, above all, are different, right? It's not so with the power tier that you're limited to like this many CPUs, and that means you get this much RAM or whatever, right? With power tier, we can give you custom instance types with number of CPUs, amount of disk, amount of RAM, and stuff like that. Very configurable. And we do this for you. So looking at it from another point of view, right? If we look at foundation, this is where we start off, right? We got templates for deploying your database service. There's specific configuration settings that you can have. The monitoring is there, but it's basic and does some basic things for you. And to that, we then have like extensions, configuration, and metadata, which is actually there to support you. The infrastructure to support those things are there, but they're not enabled unless you're on the power tier, where we help you together with you build like a full stack that is customized, right? With very advanced configurations, and we can add advanced features as we go along and as you need them. So out of the box, what you get with MariaDB SkySQL are, as I said, the custom instance types, right? And on demand in the power tier, you can get like customized high availability disaster recovery implementation strategies. You can get in integration with other cloud systems that we can set up for you. We can integrate with Kafka through MariaDB MaxScale, for example. We can integrate with Redis for caching. We can do synchronization between databases and data warehouses. All sorts of stuff can get into the customizations that we provide you with in the power tier, beyond just like the custom instance types, that is. So SkyDBA, what is that? Well, MariaDB SkyDBA, you can look at that as an extension of your DBA team, right? If you're moving your databases and your database load out to the cloud and out to MariaDB SkySQL, while you're moving your hardware, we take care of the hardware for you, or we'll let someone else, but someone takes care of the hardware for you, the operating system, the databases, all this stuff is moved out. Do you want your DBAs also to be managed by us, right? And we can manage the DBA work for you. Make no mistake, right? Parts of the DBA work will probably remain on your side. It's not like you can get rid of all the DBA, but the drudgery routine work for DBAs, running backups, doing restores on demand, watching that things actually run, checking that you're not running out of disk and giving you warnings, assisting you in like adding that disk or doing like, you know, off hours, schema changes, and what have you not. All of that stuff we can assist you with. We can do that. And the people doing this are the Mariadb experts. These are people who has worked with MariaDB for a long, long time. They've been MariaDB DBAs, and they're backed by the experienced MariaDB support team and the MariaDB developers. So this is a very high-skilled team that takes care of your databases. And not only that, we take care of MariaDB Server, we take care of MaxScale, and we take care of MariaDB Column Store. And we help you from a business point of view too. We can do reporting. We do quarterly reporting on usage. Are you using SkyDBA or SkySQL in the most effective way, and things like that. We do these things for you. There's proactive monitoring. We can look at how the load is growing and advise you on how to fix things and add more services or remove services as they are no longer used. So in essence, in summary, MariaDB SkySQL is there for you to use. Don't just manage it. We manage it and deploy it for you. It provides you with a large number of automated features. We do automated backups. We do the restores on demand. Scaling is automatic. Monitoring is included by default. It's backed and supported by the team that built MariaDB. These are not just any cloud engineers doing this. These are guys that know the cloud inside out, but they also know MariaDB inside out. And they're backed by the support team and the actual development team that actually writes MariaDB from scratch. And this is adding MariaDB SkyDBA, as I just talked about, your MariaDB SkySQL DBaaS, the DBaaS that work with MariaDB for you. So with that, thank you for listening to this talk on MariaDB SkySQL, and I'll leave over to Jürgen.